become my new treatment. Get to work, God. You can make it so easy, right? You don't have to say a bunch of words. When you say get to work, God, what it does for me is it releases the idea that I'm doing anything. And that something's working through me that's doing it. And all I have to do is relax into it. Now that's bold and daring too, because for somebody like me, sometimes I like to control everything. And and I'm sure there's a few of my friends out there that are like that. And I want to just know that I know exactly how to get it done. Well, I don't sometimes, but I do. Because there's a place within me that does know how to get it done. And if I'll just let God do it, God expressing through me, whatever you use for the Word of God, I don't care, I use God because it expresses all power to me. You can use source, divine, whatever that is for you. As that's expressing through me, it has all the answers, because it has all the answers in the universe that ever were and ever will be and ever are. And they're right here where I am. And if I'll get out of the way and just open up and be bold and daring enough to open up and let it flow through me, the answers are there. And I can tell you, I used to get to work God so many times this week for little things, like my computer not working when I needed it to, or my printer, just little silly things. I don't want to call them stupid things, but silly things like that you think are so small, but that can set you into a tizzy, right? And I would just breathe and go, get to work, God, and it would find its way to perfection almost immediately. So I love that, and thank you, Reverend Johnson, for sharing that with us. So when it's not showing up, or it's not the way we think it should be, get to work, God. There is something within us that's always perfect, that always has been perfect, that can never be anything but perfect. And in this teaching, we say that healing is not, we don't use the word healing, we use the word revealing. Because what we're doing is, if we had to heal something, we'd never be able to do it. Because in reality, there is nothing to be healed. There is only something to be known in every single solitary moment. So when we are in a situation or an experience where it seems like we need to be healed, really all we need to know is who we are, and that we're just fine in whatever that experience is. And we can breathe into it and know it's there for our highest good, and remember who and what we are. Because when we remember who and what we are, the rest of it takes care of itself. And whatever we're experiencing becomes something different, because we've changed our mind about it. And that's what we teach in this teaching of the science of mind and spirit, that it's all about changing our mind about it. And when we change our mind about it, it changes our perspective on it. And then it changes. It seems like a miracle, but it's not a miracle. It's just the innate, beautiful perfection of spirit that just shows up because we've allowed it to, by letting go and just accepting it as who we are. So I just want to end with this quote. I'm not sure which one I want to use. I found this quote by Emerson this morning. I think I'm going to use that. Because sometimes it does seem like, we're in the middle of chaos and all this stuff going on in the outside world, and are we up to it, are we not, what are we going to do about it? And Emerson said, the maker of a sentence launches out into the infinite and builds a road into chaos and old night, and is followed by those who hear him with something of wild, creative delight. I'm going to read it one more time. Take it in. The maker of a sentence launches out into the infinite and builds a road into chaos and old night, and is followed by those who hear him with something of wild, creative delight. So for me, I build a road in chaos and old night, whatever that is in my life or whatever I'm perceiving. And I just build that road that's based on a foundation that spirit and God is all there is. There is nothing else. Like I said when it began, love is all there is. And I build my road with that and walk through life with that. And I invite us all in this amazing 2017 to do that, to build a road through anything that seems like chaos and old night with love and watch what happens. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you again for being here, for showing up today. And Daniel Nelson is going to come back up and sing an amazing song that I just love. I've heard the Sacred Earth Choir sing this before, and called Speak Truthful. It's Power. By Shauna Carroll. Yes.
So I guess this looks like.
How appropriate is that?
Today is actually the birthday of a phenomenal being that walked this earth many years ago. Martin Luther King Jr. Today is his birthday. It's celebrated tomorrow, but we're celebrating today. And this song was written for a celebration of his life several years ago by a woman who lived right up in those hills. Bless you, Shauna Carroll. And her partner Tom Cobb wrote it together. So this song is called Speak Truth to Power. That speaking truth is more powerful than violence. And it goes through 3 different leaders of that belief. Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, and John Lennon, asking for peace in the world. So the verses go through that journey of those beings on this earth. And the chorus loops 100 times, so sing with us.
So perfect. Yes. Speak truth. That's all we should be speaking is truth. Truth. So it's my pleasure to introduce my amazing husband, Reverend Patrick FEren, who I have the great blessing of living with every day of my life. He's a spirit of light and love in my life, and I know in the lives of many. So I just welcome him up here to inspire us.
She always loves to introduce me, and I just let her because I love to be introduced. Wow. Wow. I was thinking of Martin Luther King Jr., and this thing came over me when I was sitting there, and it said, it's your turn. It's our turn. It's our turn to make a difference. All of the great leaders that have come before us, it's our turn. They set the stage, they set the road, and now it's our turn. Bold and daring. When I was a kid, bold was not a good thing in our household. Don't be bold, which really meant that you talked out of turn or you did whatever that is. Don't be bold. And now we're saying, be bold, be daring. Yeah, I used to think of bold and daring as something physical, right? Ziplining is bold and daring. Outrunning a volcano is bold and daring. Wow. Jumping out of a plane is something I may never do. I mean, it's bold and it's daring. But I think there's something more to this whole idea of bold and daring. I think vulnerability is bold and oh so daring. Yeah. Do you know what kind of courage it takes to be vulnerable and to think that all my 25 years of living, give or take, all my time I would think of vulnerability as a weakness. How wrong I was. Because I know that that is not the truth. I know that when I am bold and daring enough to let you see who I am, without all the masks, without all the pretending, without all of the I'm okay. Yesterday we had a wonderful ritual in the morning about letting go of the ego. And the ego, you know, gets a bad rap sometimes when really it just all was there to try to protect us. To say, oh my, don't do that, you're going to hurt yourself. Or like my mother used to always say, don't climb the tree, don't climb the tree, don't climb the tree. But then that's a whole nother talk. We'll get that at another time in life. But I'm thinking to myself, what makes Patrick FEren bold? And what makes me daring in my life? Because I am willing to let life be shown through me. I am daring enough to say that when that breath of life came through, that they had an absolute, they meaning the entire universe, had a plan. And it had my name on it. And that's not to go lightly. Rita mentioned it. I mean, think of that idea. That no fingerprint is the same. So my idea behind that is whatever you want to call creator, whatever you want to call the source, the universe, said just in case they forget how unique they are, let me remind them by their unique print. Do you believe that? Sometimes it's hard, right? Sometimes it can be hard. Boy, this whole idea of vulnerability, this is our fourth journey. The first one was just sacred journey. And it's so great every year I keep saying, sacred choir, I mean, you're like family. It's like Thanksgiving, right? And Christmas. That's when I get to see you. A lot of times, right? We've been family. The second one was the hero's journey. Joseph Campbell, we all know that, right? And we love themes in our life. They kind of promote us, they kind of urge us, they kind of, like the divine urge, kind of pushes us forward. The third one was the journey of the heart. Have you ever had a journey of the heart? It's beautiful. And this one is the bold and daring. If we ever were going to be bold and daring, this would probably be the time that we need to follow that place inside of us. A lot's going on in the world, in case you haven't noticed. And it's all beautiful, whether or not we think so or not. So I can sit here and I can cry about what's happening, or I can get involved, meaning with myself as the example of what love is. Love is the answer, and it's so used sometimes, like the unconditional love. It's used so much that sometimes, not anybody in this room, but I forget what unconditional love really is. It's vulnerable. It is so powerful to just open up, to crack that coconut like we did yesterday, and get in there. And then you'll find another thing covering the seed. But guess what's underneath it? The juice of who we are, the meat of who we are, the God that we are. Wow. I have a quote too. It says, hold each moment you create on your sacred journey close to your heart, for that is the location where your memory will be deposited. Bold and daring doesn't mean that we are going to be zip-lining through the sky, even though it's very, very fun, I hear. And I sometimes love the fact that I can live life through you vicariously. And I may never jump out of a plane, even though that one side of me wants to. The side that's not as strong as the other side. And I love the idea that we say this part of me does this and this part of me does that. There's really only one thing happening. We just happen to, I love that. And we try to ignore it. Every time I'm here, by the way, they're all here to announce. Just like those roosters announced it. I am here, right? I am here. They're not pretending. And they don't care. They don't care if it annoys you. And they don't care because they say, guess what? This is who I am. They announce themselves. And so I was saying, I may never do all of those physical things. Exactly. But what I do know that I'm becoming is I'm becoming bold and daring. To not be afraid anymore, to let you see who I am. And I can look at you and see who you are. And I can look at him and see who he is. We're just one thing, my friends. We're this universal flow. And our time has arrived. Our planet needs us now. It needs this love. It needs unconditional love. And here's the one last thing I'll leave you with about unconditional love. It's unconditional, by the way. I have a lot of conditions sometimes I put on people, places, and things. But that's not unconditional love. Unconditional love is when I can look at something straight on, no matter what it looks like, and say, I see you. Do you know what it's like to be seen? When somebody takes the time to just say, I see you. Not I've got to get to my next thing. Hi, love you, mama. Waving across a room. I see you. see you and I see me. And that is absolute, delicious, delicious juice and meat of a coconut, my friends. I'm kind of on this coconut thing because I'm sick or anything. So I will end by saying, when we realize every moment is sacred, when we understand that every footstep we take is sacred too, that every moment that we have is a new moment that has never happened before, choose it wisely, and most of all, choose it from love. Namaste.
To invite the Sacred Earth Choir up again as we take this time to do our sacred giving. This is a time where we, if we choose to give back to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, we take a collection up, and that collection goes to the